Hello dear friends, and welcome to the GeoCoast. I'm standing in Charlesford in Kinsale Harbour, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. On the coastline we have some sequences of sedimentary rocks of Devonian age, and in today's video I would like to show you what is the seabed looking like in this area of Kinsale Harbour and outside. And we're going to do this based on the multibeam bathymetry data which was collected by the INFOMAR program funded by the Government of Ireland. This will be of particular interest to people who are involved in fishing, as different fish type have preference to different seabed type, whether it's rock or sand. So let's dive in and have a look at the seabed in this area. Well, at first let's have a look at the bedrock geology of this area. So this is a bedrock geology map produced by the Geological Survey Ireland, which is available to view on their website. And that's where we're standing, in the townland of Fort Hill. Charlesford is located here on this headland. And earlier on I made a mistake. Actually, most of the rocks in Kinsale Harbour area are of Carboniferous age, and represented mostly by mudstone. But here, if we click, for example, on this layer, we can see that it's represented by sand-lanced mudstone, and which is of Carboniferous age. Likewise, the rocks on which the Charlesford is standing, it belongs to Kinsale Formation, and these rocks are also of Carboniferous age, and mostly the rock type is mudstone. But now let's have a look what is actually happening on the seabed. Okay, so we're still in Kinsale Harbour. This is Charlesford where I'm standing, and we're looking at multibeam bathymetry data which was collected by the INFOMAR program supported by the Government of Ireland. And what we can learn from this data, that most of the seabed inside Kinsale Harbour is covered by soft sediments. We can see some rocks exposed on the seabed, which is the logical continuation of rocks exposed on the coast in the outer harbour area to the west and east of the harbour. But in general, what's happening that this is river abundant, and it brings sediments here and like washes it outside the harbour, and then most of the rock outcrops, most of the seabed is covered with soft sediments. Of course, it would be interesting to see what type of sediment is there. So let's have a look at the INFOMAR program web GIS, which will allow us to see if there's any seabed samples taken in this area. Now we're looking at the INFOMAR website, infomar.ie, and if we scroll down, we're gonna arrive at this map viewer, and these numbers indicate seabed samples which were collected from Irish territorial waters. So let's zoom into our area of interest. So we are here in Kinsale. This is the old head of Kinsale, and this is Kinsale Harbour. And if we keep zooming in, we come to the zoom level, which allows us to see individual samples. So let's click on this sample, and we can see that it's represented by sand. It was collected on board research vessel Kiri, belonging to the Geological Survey of Ireland. And if we click on this link, show sample collection details, we can actually see the photograph of this sample. So it's mainly represented by sand. Let's click on the other sample from the inner Kinsale Harbour area. Also, it's mostly represented by sand. And this is the photograph of the sample. In the outer harbour area, the sediments represented by muddy sand. That's how it looks like. So it means sand with a mixture of mud. And then If we click here, here we have muddy gravelly sand, and this is the photograph of the seabed sample from this area. Likewise, on the outer harbour area, we have mixed sediment gravelly sand, and that's how it looks like. Getting back to the seabed topography of this area, let's zoom in a little bit. These horizontal lines represent rock bedding pattern, and these lines crossing the rock bedding are in fact fractures, geological fractures in the rock. In another video I will show you how we used multibeam bathymetry to extend the onshore bedrock geology to the offshore, but this will be the subject of another video.